I've learned that how people view you, see you, what they say about you is not always you. That you has to come only from you. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. We're going to talk about some issues today, all right? Okay. Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery. Welcome to Vintage Wisdom. This is where we pour a little fresh new wine. Not the kind of wine for the body, but wine for the soul, wine for the spirit. So come on in, pull up a chair, have a seat. Come on, get a little closer. We can talk about some things and talk about some of the things that are going on in the world. There is a phrase or word I use, it's called labels. And it's the thing that people will place on you in order to say, this is what you are. And we will take that and make it as if this is the sum total of my life. I said, I know you're saying, no, I don't do it. You don't do it. No, I ain't gonna let nobody do that. But you'd be surprised. Every day of our lives, there are people who are trying not just, well, I shouldn't say mislabel you, because they don't know who you are to mislabel you. They will label you. They will sum up in their minds who and what they think you are. It is one of the most dangerous things in the world, and you have to guard yourself. Actually, the ancient texts and scriptures say to guard your heart. Heart meaning spirit, the wind, the essence of who you are. You have to guard the essence of who you are. Because if you don't, people will label you. This is one of the things that Jesus would deal with actually all of his life while he was on this planet. It was about, who are you? What are you? And Jesus would always make this statement. He called himself not really the Son of God. I know a lot of you say, well, he's the Son of God, is the only begotten Son. But Jesus didn't call himself that. Jesus called himself the Son of Man. And a lot of people don't even realize, theologians and all these people don't even realize what it is or what that means. But he never called himself the Son of God. I think he might have referred to something like that once, maybe twice in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. But he always dealt with himself and spoke of his relationship with his Father. Now, this is problematic itself, because whenever you're telling other people, I come from my Father, I speak what I heard my Father say, I see what my Father sees, and you're talking to a group of people out there that you're teaching, and you're talking about my Father, my Father, my Father. After a while, here's the conversation that actually came up. I think you can find this in Mark chapter 6. It's very interesting. Jesus was in a place preaching or teaching, and he mentioned about, they asked, where did all these mighty works come from? And the actual phrase works meant, where did this energy come from? Check this out now. Where did this kind of energy that he uses to heal? Jesus didn't merely heal by touching people. You know, we did we do that, and that's what we call healing. It according to what persuasion you come from. But Jesus would speak, he would teach, and during the process of the teaching, healing would come. I'm going to say that again. During the process of the teaching, healing would come. It's kind of like the more you set the mind free, the more I understand the essence of me. The more you set the mind free, the more I understand the essence of me. What's happening is me is already here. I'm already who I am. But it's covered up with so much junk and absolute crap that as long as it's covered up, I will always be searching for who I really am or who me is. Is it all right for me to be me? Biology says you can't be you. Sexuality says you can't be you. All of these things will pop up at you and say you can't be you. Religion, oh God. Religion is always telling us you can't be who you are. So what do people do? People, when you don't know who you are, they are gladly ready to tell you who you are. So what they do, they put labels on you. I'll give you one of the prime labels that's out there right now: black and white. Black skin, white skin. We call white people white, black people black. Why are black people black? Black people are only black because when they're compared to white, take white away, black people are not black. They're just people. What if everybody's white? If everybody's white, white people are not white. They're just people. Somebody created the label that said white skin is white, black skin is black. So we are to look at what, and then they turn around and define what is white. And they define that white is right or black stay back. This is how labels come about. And these labels are carried on from generation to generation. This was in scripture when they came up with this horrible, horrid piece of excuse to explain why black people are the color that they are. And they actually came up with this theological thing that the grandson of Noah was cursed by God, and that the color of the skin was the curse of God because something happened with Noah's son, and their children were cursed. There's some who even came up with another theology that had to do with Cain. And it said that after Cain had killed his brother Abel, then God marked Cain. Cain said, if they're going to kill me because I'm cursed of you. And it says, and God said, well, I'll put a mark on you so nobody will kill you. And they actually said that the mark of Cain is dark skin. Now, who came up with this? People of light skin. They began to form theologies out of their own philosophy of whiteness. That's where you get white supremacy. That's where it was born. It was born in the womb of religion. Listen, this is why I do what I do. Some people say, well, you could do other things. No, this is why I do what I do. Because I have seen how deep that demonic mind can go to keep people mentally, emotionally, and philosophically and ideologically down. So they can keep their thumb on them. And if they can keep their thumb on them, they can use them for their own will to make people richer, to make people have a higher standard of living, because you got to build your life on the backs of somebody. This is what religion was. This is what religion did. I know it. You know it. This is why so many people are turning from it. And now look at what's happening in Congress. You have one of the messengers, I think his name is Mike Johnson. He's the Speaker of the House. Go to YouTube. Listen to some of his philosophies, theologies. And the catch is, he really believes this evangelical junk that's being said. I think recently they were talking about dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark. Yeah. Idiotic. Dinosaurs on Noah's Ark. Dinosaurs were bigger than Noah's Ark. We know that the parameters of Noah's Ark is right there in the Bible. You can't put a dinosaur in Noah's Ark. But these are some of the things that are taught. And these are some of the things that taught the dark skin, the curse upon people of color. It's lasted for generations and for centuries. It was taught. It was taught for one reason, to put labels on certain people. And the more you say it over and over and over again, after a while, people stop refuting it and pushing back on it. And then what they'll say, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Let me tell you something about words. Words can hurt you if you don't use words to push back. In the beginning was the Word, John chapter 1, verse 1. The Word was God. The Word was with God. Verse 14 says of that chapter 1, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. Word can become flesh, not just God flesh. It can become demon flesh. A word can be the same positive word, can also be a negative word. A word that will lift you can also depress you. Listen to me. A word that will take you higher can also drive you deeper if you do not understand the word that you're beginning to hear and what the power of it is. That's what labels are. Labels are something that somebody stamps out, sticks on your forehead or wherever, and says, that's who you are. Well, I got news for you. I got news for you. I have got a remedy right here for every single person that is saying this is what you are. We're going to do something. We're going to do something. We're going to do a little exercise that's going to rip this thing away. Just before I get to it, just before I go to it, don't forget. Take a moment, take a time. Listen, I can't see the names of everybody who's watching either live. Most of you watch by video either at night or just before you go to bed or in the morning during your prayer and meditation time. And I really appreciate you. And I'm able to see your names later on because, I got my old glasses on. I don't see too well all the time. So I have to kind of blow stuff up in order to see it on my computer. So I hear people on the computer all the time. Oh, I see John. I see James. I see Sally. I see. That reminds me of Romper Room with that little mirror. I see this person and that person showing my age. But I am so grateful for those of you who I see those names as we go through. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. Thank you for clicking the comment buttons and writing things out. Thank you for letting me know what city you're from. Even after this goes off live, thank you for doing it. But most of all, thank you for the gifts that you give. Every single time you click that myalc.org. That's on our main website, myalc.org, and you click that donate button and you give unselfishly. I pray that that warmth of your giving will always be in the depths of your heart because you help a lot of people. A lot of people are going to leave here without labels because of what I'm getting ready to do in just a moment. Take the moment. If you want to drop us a line, you can hit Ed Montgomery and the address P.O. Box 7, well, they got it up on the screen. I'd rather you don't listen to my words, just look at the address on the screen, and it's the P.O. Box, and you can send it. If you just want to write checks, people still write checks. And you can also text to give. Keep that in mind. But also, download the app. The app has got our Bible in it. It's got our scriptures in it where you can pop it in. You can go on the radio broadcast. All those different things go on my app. And you can type in Ed Montgomery on App Store. And you can get all that. All that. You can do it. So please do it. It will make our lives a whole lot easier. And it will make a whole lot of other people's lives easier. And here's what we do. We take people who are dealing with labels. People have told them, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're the wrong color. You don't have the right education. You don't have enough education. You're overly educated. The last person, they fired you. Therefore, you're not worth anything to us. What school did you go to? Why did you go to that school? Did you go to a black school? Did you go to a white school? What school did you go? What were your grades? What did you get on your SATs? Why did they fire you from that job? Why did you lose the last job that you're in? You're not worth this. I'm here to tell you, let's take those labels. Come on, let's take them. Let's take them. Get your fingers ready. Just 2 little fingers. It's going to be less like you take a label off an envelope. Come on, let's get a hold of it, like them stick-em labels. I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to rip it off. Ready? 1, 2, 3. If it didn't come off that thing, get the edges of that label. Just get the edges of it and just peel it off. Just peel it off. Just take it, all that sticky junk that's been on your, and place it in the trash. The label's gone now. You got to begin to rebuild how you see yourself, how you think about yourself. That's what vintage wisdom is about. Go back into some of our broadcasts. Go back to some of our sensational Sundays. Begin to listen. Some things you may like, some things you may not like, but grab a hold of things you like. You're going to like a lot. And it will help you to rebuild in you who you are and to see yourself for who you really are. And when you see yourself for who you really are, all those toxic people and toxic labels and toxic talk, you're going to just flush it down the toilet. I know that's graphic, but that's where it belongs, in the toilet. It doesn't belong in you. You are God's creation. No labels. No labels. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button. Smash it, crash it. Let us know you're there.